Hi guys, it's Paula and I hope you are doing well. This video is going to be a long one. I've been filming for a total of 3 seconds, but I can already tell you now, it's going to be a long one. So grab a snack and get comfy because I'm going to be talking a lot. This is going to be my October Get Ready With Me, but I'm combining a couple other elements into this video all in one, which I love to do. I love to multitask. So the first one was a request from somebody asking me to demonstrate how I use my L'Oreal Amber Rush pigment. So that's going to be part of it today. The second thing was a request from a subscriber named Epic Cookie. Now, I've mentioned her before. She is a frequent commenter on my videos, and I am really, really grateful for that. I am grateful for all of your comments, even when I slack off on replying. I am really, really grateful that you guys take the time to watch, and then in addition to that, take the time to comment. I really appreciate it. So Epic Cookie left a comment requesting that I talk a little bit more in a video about my thoughts on makeup and project panning. I'm paraphrasing her comment here because I had to write it on a piece of paper, but she basically said that she'd like to know my thoughts on makeup after panning for 3 years. What have I discovered about myself and colors I no longer like having in my stash for each category of makeup? She wants to know what type of colors I would repurchase if I ran out. Like that's ever gonna happen. She wants to know if I would still do a full face of makeup every day after retiring from my career. So those were some of the comments she left. She just wants to hear me blab on about makeup, and I can do that because it's one of my specialties. So what I can't do is talk about what I'm doing with the makeup and talk about makeup at the same time. So while I'm applying this makeup, I will be showing you what I'm putting on, but I'm not gonna talk too much about the application. Who cares? You guys know all this stuff anyways. There's nothing I could teach you that you don't already know. But I will be talking about panning. Right now, all I have on is moisturizers and that's it. So I need to prime and do a full face of makeup, which is why I look like this. I'm gonna start with my lip balm. So first of all, what I can say is that after 3 years of project panning, I still love project panning. That's a lovely thing to say. I have seen a lot of project panners come and go since I started project panning. And of course, I've seen a lot of project panners that were there before me and are still going strong. But it takes a certain personality to project pan. And I think I have it, especially when you project pan as slowly as I do. You have to have a certain personality for it. I remember that for a long time, I felt like not using a product to its entirety would be extremely wasteful, and that if I threw away a product before it was gone, I was creating more waste and being reckless with products. And my view on that has changed a little bit with time. One of the biggest things that has helped me to realize that is that the packaging of most makeup products takes up just as much space in a landfill, whether it's full of product or whether it's empty. It's not really helping the landfill issue to use up makeup to its entirety versus to use up half of a product, decide you don't like it anymore, and then throw the packaging away. Because either way, the packaging takes up just as much space. And that was a real eye-opener for me. I don't know why, but what is probably common sense to a lot of people was kind of shocking to me. And between figuring that out and realizing that there are some makeup products that I really don't like, and that the time that it would take me to use that product up versus the time that I could be enjoying something I like much more, means that maybe decluttering makeup that isn't working for me is really actually a smart idea and not as foolish as I once thought it was. So that was an eye-opener. Obviously, the biggest reality that has come with project panning is that I am a slow panner, and I didn't realize that. Before I started project panning, I thought I wasn't moving products out because I lacked focus and that I was kind of flitting around from product to product without really using anything consistently. But the truth is, even if I demonstrate dedicated focus on one product for an extended amount of time, it still takes a super long time for me to get through it. I'm gonna be using these two right here to color correct and conceal. That being said, even after that realization, I still love the method of project panning. I still love that project panning streamlines my focus, streamlines my routine. When I wake up in the morning, I know what I'm gonna do with my makeup. I don't have to sit there and hem and haw over which blush I'm gonna choose, because I'm gonna choose the blush that I'm project panning, and it makes sense. I really like that about project panning. And I have found that I don't get bored using the same products over and over. And that when I do get bored using the same products over and over, I just start a new project and add in something new to the mix. Or I have these different projects going on that give me variety, like Project 10 Uses and Turn and Burn, along with some more long-term projects, so that I'm working on some things long-term, but I'm still bringing new things into the mix. I really feel like this year has been my best year ever for project panning, and I'm really getting the hang of this thing. As far as makeup, I still love makeup. I still love everything about makeup. I love looking at makeup. I love buying makeup, and I love putting makeup on every morning. If I had the choice between sleeping an extra 30 minutes or waking up and putting on makeup, I always choose to wake up and put on makeup. I love it that much that I would rather put on makeup than sleep. And I cannot say that about too many things in my life. There's not too many things that I would put before sleep, but makeup is one of them. There is definitely some truth to the statement about would I keep wearing makeup after I retire from my career? I don't know. I might not. The truth is, when I don't have someplace to go, I don't feel the need to put on makeup. As long as I'm leaving the house and seeing other human beings, I feel a purpose in putting makeup on. But if I'm not leaving the house, I'm not putting makeup on. And work is the main reason I leave the house. Work, grocery shopping, and Saturday gymnastics with the kids. Those are the three main reasons I leave the house. And if I wasn't going to work 5 days a week, my makeup use up would definitely go down dramatically. I know that for a fact. So I don't think I would wear makeup 7 days a week like I am now. Once I retire, I think that will go down, and any day that I know I'm gonna be just around the house, it'll just be skincare, no makeup, and that's it. I'm putting on my Revlon foundation, by the way. And I'm still applying my makeup like an animal with my fingers. I can't help it. After all these years, I still don't use brushes or sponges. As far as my feelings about color cosmetics and color in general, I feel like I love neutral now more than ever. I have always and will always love a beautiful neutral eye look. That being said, I like to play with color too. That hasn't changed. But long term, I think I will always have neutrals in my lives. I do not need any more neutral eyeshadows, that's for sure. I'm set for a long, long, long time, but I will always have neutrals. I just can't see myself not having a neutral eyeshadow palette in my life. I do think that as far as my makeup preferences, I do still follow or try to follow the trends to some point. So for example, when eyeshadows made this colossal switch from everything warm to everything cool, I was down for it. I was ready for the trend and I was there to follow it. Not that I stuck with it, because when you're project panning, you go with whatever you're panning, not necessarily what the trend is, but I am to some extent still aware of what is trending and what isn't. For whatever's popular for the year or for whatever's popular for the season. I am kind of shocked by how much I fell in love with the bright, bold berry lipstick that I panned earlier this year. I don't think I saw that coming. I fell in love with that color. And honestly, ever since I finished it, that Trustee crayon, I've been feeling a little bit lost. Like I don't quite know what I should put on, because that was my go-to for the whole year. And I'm so glad I found a couple of dupes in my stash for that shade, but I have other lipsticks that are currently in projects that I should be working on, not those right now. So it's been a little weird without that lipstick. Next is Cream Contour. This shade really warms me up, but I gotta be careful with it. I actually rub it into my hairline a little bit to make sure that like it's not a white scalp and a tan forehead. There, love it. One of the questions she asked is if I've fallen out of love with any colors through my project panning, and the answer is no. Not completely. Like I take a break from a color here and there, but there isn't a color that I used to like, but because of project panning, I no longer want to use. Not at all. I cannot believe how much purple eyeshadow I have worn in the last 12 months. It's just amazing to me, especially since I went from panning such a neutral palette to working on my baby pan that palette with the two purples. I have worn so much purple. And of course, when you have purple hair, purple eyeshadow is like a neutral, so it works, but I cannot believe how much purple I've worn in the last year. I'm gonna go in with my highlighting stick. Next, I'm gonna go in with my Dream Bouncy blush. My little cap has broken off, but oh my gosh, you guys, look at this. I haven't technically hit pan, but the product is pulling away from the pan right there, and I am totally okay with that, because any change is kind of exciting when it comes to this blush, because I've been using it for so long. I do often think when it comes back to my feelings about makeup in general and my relationship with makeup, there's something that Haley Evans, Haley Wright? She was Haley Wright and now she's Haley Evans, right? There's something that Haley Evans said all the time in her videos, and she hasn't posted a video in a while. I'm kind of sad. I'm kind of missing you, Haley. She has no idea who I am. But there's something that she always says, and if you guys watch her, you guys know, but she always talks about how it's just powder. It's just powder and pigments. It's just waxes, and, you know, people put a little bit more value into makeup than there should be or than there needs to be. And that comment has really stuck with me since I first heard her say that about a year ago. And she probably had been saying it for much longer than that, but I just heard her first say it about a year ago. But yeah, keeping that in mind has definitely changed my relationship with makeup to some extent. Okay, so the video stopped recording for a couple minutes. I have no idea what I was blabbering on about, but we're gonna try and pick it up from where we left off. What you missed was me priming my eyelids and setting it with eyeshadow, nothing more. I am going to go into my eye look, and I'm gonna start by putting Shimma Shimma on my brow bone, and then I'm gonna go into MAC Soft Brown, a little bit of this Cocoa Bear from Makeup Geek, and maybe a couple other warm eyeshadows from my Pan That palette before we use Amber Rush. So I think what I was saying before my camera so rudely cut me off was that the other thing that has really been hitting home with me is the fact that I have so many palettes in my stash currently that I've never used even once. On top of that, so many more palettes that I've used maybe a handful of times, which is nonsense. It's ridiculous. So I've just kind of been telling myself, like, okay, so you want that palette. When was the last time you used the Natasha Denona palette you bought last year? Never. When was the last time you used the Dose of Colors palette that you bought this year? Never. Like, I just keep telling myself that stuff over and over and over again, trying to drill it home that I'm not making much sense with my purchasing and my makeup use up, especially as a project panner. Like, I'm using the same things every day. I actually had a comment recently, somebody saying, like, have you noticed now that you're not buying as much makeup that you're using makeup up faster? And the answer is, when I was buying makeup, I wasn't using that makeup. I would buy it, I would put it in a drawer, I would never touch it. So my makeup use up hasn't really improved that much since changing my purchasing habits, because even when I was purchasing makeup, I was buying it and not using it. So it took me a really long time to get it around my head that if you're a project panner, you really can't spend hundreds of dollars on new makeup every year. It's kind of one or the other. You can't do both. And so much of that comes from the whole FOMO, the whole limited edition label that gets us all out there like in a panic, like, oh my gosh, if we don't buy it now, we'll never get it. Well, guess what I realized? At the end of the day, all makeup is limited edition to some extent. Who would have guessed that the Urban Decay Naked palette, the OG Naked palette, would go away? I mean, it stuck around for several years, but at the end of the day, it was limited edition too, wasn't it? I mean, wow. I honestly did not see that coming. Although a lot of people weren't surprised at all. So what do I know? I'm using an orange shadow from my Pan That palette now. I'm using my camera as a mirror. I don't know if you guys can tell that or not, but I brought a little mirror out, but I'm not using it. Maybe I should scoot in a little closer, huh? Doing the Shopping Our Stash collab, the project I do with Elizabeth every month, where we go through our stash to see how many we have of each color, has been helpful also. Like, oh my God, we just did black. I have 130 blacks. I cannot possibly buy another black eyeshadow, even if it means every other eyeshadow in the palette is amazing. I can't do it. Too crazy. It's craziness. I'm gonna work on my lower lash line for a minute. I probably still had some purple eyeshadow on this brush from yesterday. Should probably wash my brushes every now and then. I don't know why, but there is always a hair sticking on my forehead instead of going with the flow, with the gang. Drives me crazy. I'm starting to feel like I'm just blabbering on about nothing and not really making any good points. Let's talk about Amber Rush for a minute. As you can see, I've applied quite a few matte eyeshadows all over my eyelid. I also have a shimmery shadow on my brow bone, but otherwise everything I've applied so far has been matte. This is really easy, but all I do is then I take this, I take the little stopper out and put it in the cap so I don't lose it. I take my ring finger and pick up as much product as I can. And I carefully apply it to my eyelid as neatly as possible. Got a little fallout there. That is all I do with this. There used to be a time that this was the most amazing eyeshadow on the market, and although it is still an amazing product, with the advent of things like Stila Glitter and Glows, it's hard to compete with that level of shimmer and shine. As beautiful as this pigment is, it can't do what the Stila Shimmer and Shines or Glitter and Glows or whatever they're called does. Which brings me to another thought. Like, I don't have a problem with panning old makeup. I don't have a problem with that at all. I'm going in with Valley Girl from ColourPop for my inner corner highlight. But if the product has become passed up by newer, better products on the market, it does make me wonder why I'm still using older products that perform inferior to newer products that perform better. So, all the things I think about. I'm gonna do my brows really quickly. These two have been my go-to for months now. I don't really know if I like this Ulta brow tint at all, but it's the only brow gel that I have, so I'm using it for as long as I can. I feel like my eyebrows are extra bushy today. I don't know why. I feel like I've been putting my makeup on for 3 hours today. I don't know if that did anything at all, but I'm still using it. I'm gonna apply highlighter. This is my L'Oreal True Match Lumi highlight. I'm gonna go back in with my Pan That palette for blush and bronzer. So what else should I say about my experience after 3 years of panning makeup? I think one thing that has really been hitting me hard is the inventories. I've always said it, but I'm gonna say it one more time. It is such an eye-opener to do an inventory. And I know you guys like watching it, so I do it in part because you guys enjoy it, but I need it. I definitely need to stay on top of a beauty and makeup inventory every year. Shockingly, the thing that is hitting me the hardest is when I see the same products year after year. This is my 3rd year of doing an inventory on Instagram. This was my 3rd year. This will be my 4th year coming up. And many of the makeup that I had 3 years ago are gonna be in it again for a 4th year. And it's embarrassing to an extent. It's a little bit embarrassing to say like, yep, still working on it. Haven't touched it, but hopefully I'll get to it. Like, there are so many people that are completely grossed out by makeup that is a year or two old. And I have makeup that I've had for 4 years on record. I know I've had it for longer than that. And I haven't even used it in the last 4 years, not even at all. I don't know. I'm going in with my Bare Minerals now. Those inventories, man, they're eye-openers. I don't know how my cheeks got so bright. I'm feeling a little bit flushed, but my cheeks are really rosy. Maybe I just went in too hard with the cream blush. I'm going to apply my Anastasia eyeliner to the lower lash line a little bit. And then I'm going to go in with my brown eyeliner, my brown Urban Decay eyeliner. Oh, that's a funny face, isn't it? My Milani setting spray is on its last little leg, so I'm gonna give myself a spray of that all over. That wasn't too spitty. Sometimes it really spits at me. That wasn't too bad. These are the 3 mascara products that I'm using every single day. I got my primer from L'Oreal, a sample of Benefit's Roller Lash, and my Color Max mascara that I received in PR. I love this for my lower lashes. So I'm going to apply these 3 right now. For lips, I'm going to be pairing these 2 together. This is my Scone lip liner in Wine. And this is my Bare Minerals Gen Nude lipstick in Swank. This one's a little bit more pinky berry. This one's a little bit more brick red. But I think if I combine them together, it will work. I don't know. I've never tried it before. This will be my first time. Ah, fudge. What you making all that noise for, girly? You okay? Oh, great. The dog is barfing. Come on, kitty, let's go outside. Okay, guys, this is the finished look. I had so many interruptions during the filming of this video. I have a feeling this is going to be a choppy mess of a video. I also feel like there's a hair. Oh, as always. This is my October Get Ready With Me. It wasn't my go-to look for the month. There were a couple other looks that I did much more frequently than this look, but this is how I use Amber Rush most often. Amber Rush has been in a project all year long. It's been in my 2020 Vision Project pan, which ends on January 1st, 2020. So I'm always happy to get a little bit of use out of this because I have not used this nearly enough in the last 1 year and 4 months that it's been in the project. So that is how I use Amber Rush when I do use Amber Rush. I also hope you guys enjoyed hearing some of my thoughts about makeup and project panning after doing this for 3 years now, which I've enjoyed every minute of it, and I hope to continue project panning for many more years. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. Hi guys, it's Stop yelling at your friends. Always gonna tag you first, cheap makeup. Let's talk about Amber Rush for a minute.